have a bit of deal. So it's not pausing. It is Tuesday. Welcome to my new weekly vlog. I am sitting up at the GAA club at the minute. I'm waiting on Kira, Thomas and Sophie. It is Sophie's school sports day. She's in preschool, like before you go to P1, so she's 4. She'll be 5 in a couple of weeks. So it's her sports day today. It starts at 10, 4 minutes to 10. Yeah, I am that person. I have to be early to everything, it's just me. So yeah, just waiting for them to arrive. Loads of little kids having a sports day, which would be dead cute. I love all that sort of thing. So Isaac's still in his bed. I have no idea what time he'll be surfacing at, but see, trying to get him to do RE revision this week, because he knows RE is not really important to me or his dad. He's like, Whereas I'm like, Isaac, you've had 2 weeks to prepare for one exam. You don't want to go in and get a C. I've also tried to explain for university and A-level placement that they look at your grades to what even, but I'm not doing RE. I said, Isaac, it doesn't matter. They will look at what grades you get across the board, and you might need 7 Bs, or well, he's not going to need 7 Bs, but you know what I mean. But I may as well talk to myself. As far as he's concerned, as long as he does well in the 2 subjects that he wants to do, that's all he needs to achieve. And I'm like, it's not, because a lot of places you need to have a minimum of X amount of GCSEs at X grade. So we'll see. Right, anyway, I shall go, and yeah, no doubt I'll take a little bit of footage today, and I'll speak to you later. It's time for the mother's race. There she is. Kira's being brave.
I'm putting chariots of fire over this later.
Oh, that's Tony's mum was doing it as well in a dress.
Tony was pushing a little girl.
Go, Kira! Hello. Yes, it's later the same day. Sports day finished at 11:30. It started at 10.
Sports mid-morning, really, wasn't it?
And to be honest, because it didn't start like right away, we were faffing about a bit. The kids were on doing stuff for like an hour. It is too warm for kids to be out running about in that. I remember getting sunburn at one of Isaac's sports days. But the primary school sports day is like a whole day affair. That was just the preschool, and there's some little kids, they were so tiny. They were like minuscule. They were little twin girls, identical twin girls, dressed the same, and they must have been preemies because they're so tiny compared to everyone else. They're so cute. No, it was nice. Kira got to speak to one of the mums of one of Sophie's little friends that's coming to her party, and I managed to get a picture of them together. So that, meaning the kids, not the mums. She was wearing this dress, lovely, lovely dress. I don't know where she's from. She's not from the UK or Ireland. She has beautiful skin colour, like a dark caramelly skin colour, and she was wearing this dress. It was like just like, you know, like a boob tube but long, and it was the most gorgeous pattern. And she ran in the mum's race, and I says, you're brave running in a race with a dress on. And then she did that thing that I do of giving you too much information. Oh, and I didn't have a bra on neither, and I didn't know whether to hold it up or what to do with it, because then I thought, oh, what if I stand on it when I'm running and then it comes down? I says, well, I don't think anybody else will be looking at the kids doing their races, put it that way.
Why did the men cheer?
Yeah, why did the men cheer?
It's like that woman that tripped up on school race and skirt went over her head. And she showed her knickers to everyone in race. Went viral.
But
only idiots fall in school races.
yeah, it was nice. I liked things.
You nearly break your ribs, Drew.
Your dad did. It bruised his ribs.
Yeah, that was awful.
Really, he went down in the dad's sports race, but he went down on his second step because he slipped, and down he went like a sack of shite, and I wasn't even recording. I thought I was recording, but I had it on photograph.
Converse on wet grass.
So annoyed. I have a photograph of him lying on his front, pretending.
About 6 or 7 steps in, and I felt my feet going. I think it was too late then, because momentum was going, and I felt me. It's like, oh, here we go.
But what's
down
quite
went.
sad is out here, it's a very sporty sort of like, most of the men are into, when I say GAA, Gaelic Something Association,
They just live for playing sport.
yes,
that's it.
basically the men and women out here are so sporty. It's either Gaelic, camogie, hurling, proper like sports culture out here. The men train
One of them tore his hamstring trying to
for
win the
the
race.
school, and I say the men, the women probably do too. It was just one of them tore his hamstring the year that Darren was doing it, and bless Kira, she did the race. Thomas had more sense. He said, I'm not fucking doing it. I says, I don't blame you. I says, that looks like a rugby line up there, and it did. These lads all stood with tight, you know, like blokes that are buff, like because they're sporty, but they wear tight t-shirts so that you can see they're buff. The whole line of them stood, and then the girls got ready, women, sorry, and they're all, two of them looked normal, which was Kira, who's very, very slim, and another girl that just looked like a normal mom, and everybody else looked like somebody
Rippling
out of
thighs.
proper muscular thighs. It's like, oh my god. And one of them, I thought, there's no way you're a mother, love. Absolutely no way.
Is she a woman even?
Well, I overheard her say afterwards to someone else, I didn't want to push it too hard because I've got my own sports day next week. And I thought that either means that you're a sixth former, or that means that you're a teacher. I don't know which, but Emma was there, that he used to go to school with. Francis's daughter, she was there. She's on study leave and she's at sports day. But she does right. So yeah, it was a nice morning. It wasn't as long as I thought. Granny Mary showed up for a little bit. She can't really stand. She's got arthritis really badly. Granny Mary was my teacher in school for one year of home economics. We were reminiscing a little bit about teachers, and I was saying to her, do you remember, I says, have you heard me, do you remember you were a teacher? Of course. Do you remember the two Mr. McDonalds? They were brothers. Oh yes, Seamus and Alex. And she's smiling, and I says, you couldn't have got two different brothers. Oh well, she said, Seamus would have let them take the hand out of him. That means take the piss, basically. I didn't tell her that I absolutely couldn't stand the other one. Oh no, Alex, he wouldn't have took no nonsense. I thought, you what, he was a bully is what he was. He was a Mr. Morgan. But they were brothers, and they chalk and cheese, but she seemed to really like both of them. So then there was another teacher she was talking about that I didn't get, Mr. Beckwell. He was a maths teacher, and she said there were pupils climbing out the windows and climbing in other windows and in the class, and I couldn't keep control of the class at all.
I think if Granny Mary went to school with Harold Shipman, oh, he was a lovely guy.
So yeah, we're just heading into my dad's now. Isaac's got his last exam on Friday, but we're not doing it. I mean, why does it have to do this weather when it's like the last week pissed it down all fucking week, but this week no, gonna sun. So we have to try and get revision in for this RE at some point. There's just so much to learn, so much to, loads of the, I don't remember when I was at school there being so many essay questions. I do remember there were definitely essay type questions for RE where you had to give an opinion, but when I say give an opinion, I mean give an opinion that they want you to give and back it up with facts. Like they might ask you what the Catholic Church's view of abortion is or something. But yeah, now they just seem to be every bloody question's an essay. You maybe get 5 to 10 short, what day? St. Patrick's Day, or like what is the symbol for this, or you know, you might get a few of those, but most of the exam is like long writing, and that's something that Isaac does not like doing, so that's a bit shit. So we just have to hope for the best, and then that's it, thank Christ, for the rest of this school year. We'll have to see what's going on with your blazer, if you're going to need a new one for next year. No word of a lie, I had 2 blazers to go through 7 years of high school, because I did to upper 6th. 2 blazers, and I wouldn't have had 2 blazers but for the fact that someone ruined my first one by gobbing on the back of it. And our blazers were made of this like fleecy wool, and my mum even left it into the dry cleaners and they ruined it. And like if that was today, Darren would obviously go down and kick off and get the money for a blazer, but my parents wouldn't have done that. They did go down and they did complain, and they did say, you've completely ruined this blazer, blah blah blah. but they didn't get anywhere and nothing happened. So that's why I had to be bought a second school blazer. If it hadn't have been,
Didn't pull it over the desk.
my dad wanted to. My dad's one of these people that wouldn't say boo to a goose when it comes to going into a shop. He'll tell you to F off quick enough, but I mean, go in and complain, forget it, no chance, won't do it. He used to have to walk away from my granddad in shops when my granddad started. Is that the best you can do? He used to have to leave because he was that embarrassed.
I just sat down in the shop under a dirty protest. If I needed to go or not, I'd have got one out.
But anyway, so because I literally did not grow 1 inch up or out the whole way through my high school, I was like tall and skinny. Believe it or not, I was all the way through. Same height when I left as I was when I started. 5'6". I've lost half an inch. I'm 5'5.5" now. I'll probably lose more as I get older as well. I'll end up like a hobbit. But we've had to change Isaac's blazer every single year because he's grown so fast. So we'll see what happens next year if he needs another one. Can't think of anything else to tell you of any interest, so I'll switch it off. Just, it's a lovely day. 21 degrees here today, and apparently in the last few days 4 teenagers have drowned in bodies of water. Not here, in the UK generally, and one of them was only 13. It's scary. And Darren was saying this morning that there was an aircraft circling at East Midlands Airport because apparently somebody had left a suspicious. They'd evacuated the airport and there was an aircraft circling. I was like, what the hell's going on? Did you say it was a suspicious package or something?
The only last information, the airport said they evacuated the whole terminal because a bag had gone through,
Right.
and they suspected it had something in it, and that's all it said.
Right.
They just said nothing about the aircraft, but there was a map that someone had put up. Why is this aircraft?
Yeah, well, the aircraft's maybe circling because if they think there's a potential bomb, if the aircraft land, that's more people they're putting at risk. So they're safer to keep the people up in the air until they find out. Jesus, that's the sort of flight I'd be on. Something like that. And you'd be wondering what the hell's going on, because I very much doubt they're going to communicate to the aircraft what they're doing, to the passengers. Well, there might be a bomb in the airport, so we're just circling to find out. But obviously the last thing they want to do is put an aircraft on the runway and another 100 passengers or whatever, and there be a bomb.
One of them last week had to take an emergency detour on landing because a passenger had forgotten they'd left a mobile phone charger in their suitcase in the hole, which is
Well, I shouldn't have even got in.
Yeah.
How did they get through with that?
Oh no, well, they had to divert.
Hang on, a mobile phone charge?
You know, a charger, what they call them charging ports.
Oh, like a memory bank, one of the...
Yeah, a power
The
bank.
bank, right,
Yeah,
okay.
you're not allowed them in the hold.
Right.
You can have them in your hand baggage,
Yeah.
but they left theirs, possibly also charging a phone at
Hang
the time.
on, you're not allowed a power bank checked in?
You're not allowed it in your spare suitcase.
In your big suitcase?
No.
Right, I didn't know
Go in your
that.
hand baggage.
I thought it was the other way around. Right, it's a good job I said that, because I would have packed them in the big suitcase. I wasn't aware of. Well, I'll have to read the rules again before we leave anyway. But right, I shall go, and I'll check in with you at some stage later in the week. Hello. Right, I'm about to go into this speed awareness course. And so that's me checked in. That's my ID shown. Now I have to wait for about 10 minutes until everyone else is checked in, and then we start. So I'm having a break from the speed awareness course. Look at the fucking weather. Isaac finished his exams this morning. Last exam. Look at the weather. I don't know if you can actually see it. It's pissing it down. Absolutely pissing it down. I'm having a Rice Krispie bar. Well, at least the plants are getting watered. Can't record anything for you because I made a point of saying they monitor everyone's socials, and it's a legal offence to share anything, so don't do that in case I get into trouble. But I'll tell you some stories about it, honestly. I better go back in.
From other countries to help.
Hello.
Huge pumps have also been brought in to lower the water level in the cave.
It's Friday evening. Isaac has been at the park for a while, skateboarding. His exams are over for the school year. We're just now going to pick him and Stephen up. We're going to see Backrooms at the cinema. My hair is so frizzy, it needs washing again. Running a little bit late because I was watching Suze's vlog. I was watching the vlog about the emerald ring, Suze, and I haven't got to the end of the story yet, and I'm desperate to know if she's seen the ring and what she thought. Such a sweet thing, I can't even believe. Honestly, if you're listening and you want to know what the story is about the emerald ring, watch Suze's latest vlog. I will link it. So I've had to leave before I've heard the end of it, and I'm desperate to know. Suze Darren says, why the hell do you not fucking sell it and buy her one? I'm like, because it's just a really sweet, lovely thing that she's doing.
You're talking about Rosie's ring again?
Yeah. Well, I've only just watched the thing. What do you mean again?
I'm being facetious.
So when he found out how much it was worth, you fucking... Why did she not sell it and she could get up? Because it's the sentiment, it's the fact that it's perfect, it's the fact it's emerald, it's all of them things. Just proof that women are so much nicer as individuals than men, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to the end of that story. Don't let this fool you, it's pissed it down today. First day of, well, Isaac had his last exam this morning, which was RE, which he thinks he's done all right in, but to be fair, every single exam he's had, he said that. He's going to say that to stop me worrying. There's a couple of things I made him go over yesterday, just in case. We're both on the exam. One of them we didn't go in a lot of detail, one we went in a bit more. So when you came in and I was making him watch about Mother Teresa, that was on the exam. Can you switch off that? Sorry, I've done that. The lane discipline thing. So, the thing about the process of becoming a saint and about saints in the church and things was on the exam, and I had made him watch a video yesterday about the process of canonization, which is becoming a saint. He knows that we're not arsed about RE because it's not something that's particularly important to us, but I do want him to pass all his exams if possible. We shall see. So I've heard that Backrooms is alright. I've heard it's good. I think it will appeal to a certain type of person, and I think I'm that sort of person because some of it is found footage. I love found footage. A lot of people don't. But I'm expecting the ending. Apparently the ending is very... If you want your questions answered, and if you want... It's very much open to interpretation, and a lot of people feel that you follow it along for the mystery and you're like desperate to know what happened and you're not satisfied by the end of it. That's the general gist I'm getting. But I want to see that. I want to see Passenger, even though I've heard it's shit. And I want to see Power Ballad, the new one with Paul Rudd in it and one of the Jonas Brothers guys. I've heard that's so. But I like Paul Rudd, so, and it's got songs and stuff in it. It's not a musical. Huh? I've no interest in The Mandalorian. You and Isaac can go see that. I'll go see something else. I'm all Star Wars'd out. I'm sick of the sight of it. And it's over 2 hours long. So my first aid awareness, if you heard me, my speed awareness course this morning, which I couldn't record any of for you because they made it very clear that if any of it appears anywhere, the person will be prosecuted that shares it, and they will be monitoring social media, etc. So, daren't. I will say, however, the intelligence of some people that were on that test is staggering. Now, I'm sure some of you watching are drivers and some aren't drivers, but even those of you who are not drivers have been passengers, so you should know basic things.
The basics.
So the course was like, there were people from all over the UK, London, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, all over the place. And they showed us 4 roads. One of them was a narrow country lane, another was a built up like residential area, one was a dual carriageway, and one was a motorway. And they asked us what the speeds were on those roads. So obviously the built-up area is 30, the country road, even though it's not safe to do so, is 60, and the dual carriageway and the motorway are 70. Now, you shouldn't have a driving licence if you don't know that. So everybody other than me got the country road wrong, and so much so, I have this thing where I'm thinking, am I fucking, you know, I'm sure national speed limit is 60. And I'm second guessing myself, because everybody else, they said, right, and does anybody think 30? A couple of hands went up. Anybody think 40? More hands went up. Anybody think 50? One hand went up. What about 60? I'm like thinking, I'm making a fool of myself here. It was 60. And I said, there was something came up about it. I said, well, they'd asked us questions about what makes you think that. And I says, well, as far as I'm aware, the national speed limit is 60. I said, it doesn't mean that it's safe to do 60. It just means that's what, yes, on that road that we're looking at, I would not drive at 60. Well done, the speed limit for this road is 60. And I'm thinking, thank Christ for that. So anyway, it gets to the point where he's explaining that if there are not traffic lights, you know, like street lamps, it means that the speed limit is 30 unless otherwise indicated. So if you're driving about and there's no signs anywhere, but there are street lamps, it means that the speed limit is 30. Now, I thought that was common knowledge. Why is all them flags up there? Spain, America and Canada. So I thought that was common knowledge, and hopefully you're watching it going, yeah, so did I. Not one fucker knew that. I knew, I'm not bumming my own load or anything. I thought it was something that every fucker knew. So it explains it in great detail like we're all primary school children, and then he shows a picture and he puts it up. It is 2 lanes going one way and 2 lanes coming the opposite way. So it says, so what's the speed limit on this road? There are there's like street lights on it. Again, everybody's like 60, they're thinking, or 70. And I'm like 30. And it's like, right, only one of you have got that right. What did we say 2 minutes ago about street lamps? And everybody's like, oh. And somebody said, well, I thought that was a dual carriageway. And he said, it's not a dual carriageway. Can anybody tell me why it's not a dual carriageway? Silence. I said, well, there's no barrier in the middle. And at this stage, I'm starting to feel like a teacher's pet. And there's a fucking magpie just flew right across the front of the car, really low as well. I'm beginning to feel like a teacher's pet at this point, and I'm beginning to not speak up because I'm sure I'm irritating the arse off everybody. But
I'll start calling you Ben.
But when a person's asking a question that and they're wanting someone to answer and nobody's saying anything, I have a complete lack of ability to not say anything. I'm going to say it even if it's wrong. It's the people pleaser in me, I think. But I'm shocked and stunned at I was going to use a really politically incorrect expression there. I'm just shocked at how stupid people are that have got a driving. I was going to say that. But
why are they driving?
And then at one point he said, has anybody got any questions? There's a guy called Mervyn from somewhere, I can't remember, somewhere in Northern Ireland. Older man, probably I'd say late 60s, I would guess, early 70s maybe. So, with this point situation, can I ask if you get 12 points, does that mean that's all you're allowed? Or if you get 12 points, does that mean that you get your licence taken off you at that point? And I'm thinking, that's really not a fucking question to be asking on a speed awareness course. I mean, really? And the guy's like, you could tell the guy doing the course was a bit not entirely happy to be asked that question. It's like, really, I think everybody knows the answer, but it's like this guy's saying, well, how many more times can I get away with doing this before you will take my licence off me? So apparently, if I get caught speeding again within the next 3 years, that was the first time I've ever been caught speeding. If I get caught within the next 3 years, I have to take the points. You don't get the option. It wipes off after 3 years. It wipes off after 3 years. But honestly, some of the things, there was one thing they told us that I was shocked about. So this is maybe boring, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So if you're driving at 30 miles an hour, and like they'd had this professional driver, dry conditions, blah blah blah, they waved a flag, he stopped, and he stopped well short of, I think it was like a fake wall. Then he went at 31 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour more, and he hit the object that previously he had stopped, but he was travelling at 8 miles an hour, and nobody could make sense of, well, he's only going 1 mile an hour more, why is he hitting it at 8 mile an hour? Anyway, but gravity. And then they did 35, and he hit the object at 15 miles an hour. Then they did 80 in a 70, and they hit the object at, it was either 25 or 35 mile an hour. So the point was, you can only be, like most of us there probably were, I would imagine, only going slightly over the speed limit. And that, like in my case, I think I was 6 mile an hour over, to be honest. It was either 4 or 6, I can't remember. I either was doing 34 or 36 in a 30. So even if I'd been doing, let's say, 35, I would hit something that I would be able to stop for at 30 at a speed of 15 miles an hour, which is actually, I think, quite sobering stuff. Now, that's the only thing that they told us that I was genuine. Most of the rest of it, you know, you'd have to have limited mental capacity to not know the rest of it. And you're probably saying, well, why were you speeding? But like the guy doing the course said, any person sitting here that says they have never, I'm going to hit a bird tonight, yeah, that's the third one. Any person that tries to say that they've never sped or they don't speed is lying. The point of the course is to try and make people more aware of the consequences, etc., etc.
Speed awareness course.
But yeah, it's done and dusted. But the what, if anything, the one thing I'm proper shocked about is the stupidity of some people that have license. Well, I suppose you know that by watching people around you that drive, but these people didn't know the speed limits of dual carriageways and motorways, and they thought they're told, right, if there's traffic lights or if there's straight lights, it's a 30, and then they're asked immediately after that, and they still don't know, and it's like, what's wrong with you people? It's quite concerning, really. Look at this.
It's not going round.
He is.
Surely. It even says slow on the fucking road.
So that's that sorted. It's like the guy said, he said, the last time any of us would have learned anything about driving will have been when we done our theory test, and then the next intervention that there is into your driving is when you're 70 and you need a medical or something. This girl can get off my fucking arse. She looks about 17. Really, I've always said this. Darren will hopefully attest and remember that I've said this, and it's not just because of this course. I honestly do feel that people should, I'm not saying a driving test because that's a bit too stern, but every, say, 5 to 10 years, people should be forced at the very least to do a written, you know, identification of signs of hazards.
At least know what the fucking road is.
You know what I mean?
It's like, what?
I've always said that. But anyway.
It's like when I took my theory test. And there's one at park, I can't remember the specifics, but say you want to find 5 danger points on it. And I think I was about 10 and I put my hand up. I said, I'm already at 10. And they came over and looked. Well, show me. And I went through. Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
I said, but why is it saying there's 5 when I've already got 10 and I'm still counting them? Yeah. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Don't worry about that. Like you didn't have a clue.
Yeah, he showed us videos today as well, and there were so many hazards. And then
5 hazards in the following video. See if you can find them. It's like, well, I'm at 10. I'm not even finished.
Right, the sun's just about to go in my eyes now. This girl can piss off. Thank God for that. I've just seen her doing this, squinting. She can't see where she's going, but she's still.
Yep, right up your ass.
Right, I'll switch you off. I'll be probably doing a review at some point about Backrooms. Doubtful it'll be tonight because Stephen will be in the car, so I shall let you know at some point if it was any good.
Whistle for him like a dog. You come tell me what it is. What do you see? What is it? What is it? What have you seen? Hmm? You're not going to bark at it now, are you, Ollie? She ain't going to bark at it now. What's that? What's it? A big rock. Don't like it, dear. Dobby. Good girl. What is it, eh? That's that rock toad. Well done. Right, we're going home then. Go on then. Off you go.
So it's Saturday. We've just dropped Isaac off in town. He's meeting up with Stephen. They're going to the skate park again. That lad is going to break something before we go on holiday. What do you say? A fucking leg or an ankle probably be what he does, and then be able to go on nothing. Actually, if he breaks an ankle or a leg, I don't think we can go because insurances wouldn't cover it for flights and stuff. I've no idea how it works. I'll have to Google.
You've just got to get a doctor's note to say it's okay to fly.
So last night we went to see Backrooms, which I enjoyed. It's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. I think it's more interesting than anything, trying to sort of like work it out because it's so abstract. Now, I normally hate films like that. They're usually not my cup of tea, but I liked a lot of the imagery in it. But I'll do a proper review for it without massive detail. Did you like it or hate it or thought it was alright?
Well, a lot of it I couldn't get into with that dickhead outside of me.
We had another arsehole behind us and another arsehole beside us making fucking racket. Girl behind us never shut her face the whole way through the... And at times I could actually hear the words she was saying. Now, I wish I'd known. We went to see it with Isaac and Stephen, and apparently she was kicking Stephen's seat. If I'd have known that, would have got her removed. I just didn't want to... It was packed. We weren't expecting it. When we go to the cinema, it's usually empty. It was packed. So much so we ended up sat like in a completely different place. We always took the back row. I don't like people behind me for 2 reasons: kicking of seats and noise. Noise obviously carries forward, so a person making racket in front of you is not as loud as a person making racket behind you. But Darren went back to say, oh, you know, can we... They usually say, where would you like to sit, front, middle or back? And they didn't, and Darren went back and says, have you any seats further back? No, so it's almost a complete sellout. It's like, oh, fuck's sake. So, irritating people. Today we're here to see Power Ballad. It's a new one with Paul Rudd. The only other one I particularly want to see, even though I've heard it's terrible, is Passenger, just in case I happen to like it, because that happens sometimes. Darren wants to see the Star Wars one. I'm not remotely arsed. Like I've said before, I'm just tired of Star Wars. There's too much of it, and it's cheapening the actual franchise as far as I'm concerned. But maybe I'm just not interested in the Mandalorian and Grogu because they're not original Star Wars characters. If they did something about C-3PO, I'd be there all day to see it. Or when they did the one about Han Solo, that I enjoyed that. If they did something about Chewbacca, I enjoyed that. I would enjoy that, but I've no interest in like newly invented characters. It's just too much.
It's nearly crashed.
I saw that, yeah. Jesus Christ, I saw that, yeah. The amount of fucking drivers in this car park. So, and he didn't look old enough to be driving a car, and he's got a souped up exhaust. Honestly, he looks about 16 and his exhaust is as wide as my mouth when I'm eating a burger or something. Can't think of anything else to tell you. Can you think of anything else? So you have to tell us when you watch this. Oh, fuck, I never go back to watch Basically, I was telling you last night about Susan and Emerald Ring and her friend. Did I miss it in the vlog? But has she got it yet? What did she say when she got it? I'm desperate to know. And I can't comment on your vlog because sometimes, I don't know if sometimes you switch the comments off or it's not working, but I can't comment on your vlog. But I'm desperate to know what happened. What did she say? Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure she was delighted.
Have you told that I've worn that Kyle and Jason t-shirt with nothing under it?
Absolutely. Look,
and it wasn't quite long enough.
that's not wrong. That's not true. He said, really put her off that Kylie and Jason t. Darren bought me a Kylie and Jason t-shirt out of a charity shop for my birthday.
It was part of a vintage deal.
Oh, was it vintage? Right,
yeah.
okay.
And I hammered him down with price.
Because he knows that I would think it was absolutely fucking naff.
Oh, it was.
I
It was
wouldn't wear
so
it.
naff.
It was especially for you. Now, Suze loves a naff t-shirt. So she sent me a picture of her wettest sent it to Suze because it wasn't. I was just going to go to a charity shop. I wasn't going to wear it.
No.
And he says, "Oh, tell her I got it as a sex t-shirt and that you've worn it." I'm like, "No, absolutely, that's not funny." "Yes, it is." I says, "No, it's not." So now he has had to get that in my vlog when I told him I wouldn't put it as a comment.
And now she'll be thinking, but did he?
He didn't.
And I did lunges in it.
Do you? No, stop. So Stephen is at ours tonight, and then I think Isaac and him might be doing a double sleepover at some point at Stephen's. I'm not sure. But as long as he doesn't break a fucking bone before this holiday, that's what I'm worried about. Exams are over. Happy fucking days until next year. Until the new school year, and then there'll be more start. Scunnered. Yeah, so I'll go because there's nothing else of any interest to tell you. I'll let you know vaguely if Powerball is worth going to watch. I would say Backrooms probably isn't most people's cup of tea for the cinema. I think Backrooms would work really well if you watch it at home, complete darkness, as few people as possible, no distractions, no noise. I think it would work much better. I think it's a really interesting film. If you watch loads of movies, it's interesting. But is it amazing? No. But I was entertained by it. I enjoyed it, and some of the imagery really worked for me. But yeah, just to me, the cinema packed with people annoying.
I hate people, just general.
But yeah, I'll let you know if this one's worth it.
Can I describe what the guy outside of me was doing?
Well, I'm just about to go in. You can put it in your review. So if you want to know about the racket that the guy behind us, basically he was pulling a straw in and out of his cup, and that was winding Darren up.
Oh, it was beyond that, but I didn't know if he was right or not. I thought, well, shall I say something? But
he was
he might not be
worried.
right.
Do you know that sign in it, or that bit in extras? I'm going to be really politically incorrect, so I apologise in advance. Where he's out for dinner in a posh restaurant, and is it posh? Anyway, he's out for dinner somewhere, and there is someone at another table creating a lot of noise.
Yay.
He turns round to give off, and it turns out that the person creating the racket has got Down syndrome. So he's sitting thinking, I'm going to say something, but what if there's something wrong with him?
It was that bad. Beyond the pale, there had to be something wrong with him. It was just, oh.
So he was sitting saying to me last night, I wanted to say something, but what if he was retarded?
Yeah.
You can't say that sort
I'm
of thing.
going to tell him now, I'll take a second. Every time he had a drink, he had to take the plastic lid off, which would, but then he had to slide the straw back up, which did that squeaking straw, and then he would put the end of the straw in so it slurped, like, and then he had to put the straw back down so it squeaked again, and then put the thing back on the cup, and then squeeze the cup to make it go crinkle, 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 every single time he had a drink. And it was like he had to do it.
He couldn't stop himself, could he?
And it was,
it's like when he's got
torture.
news about Trump or he's got news about football, and I'll say to him, I'm not interested. Oh no, I'll just take a minute. And he'll insist on telling me something I'm not interested in. So there you go, you got that story anyway. Which
torture.
he'll have to do it again later for the review.
Yeah.
But do you know that meme of Kermit where it's like he's looking at somebody doing some, like being a bad driver? You know that meme? Well, that was him. At one point, there was that much noise. I looked round Darren like that to see what the fuck, and he was like this.
Yeah.
He was glaring. How that guy didn't know you were glaring at him, I have no idea. Right,
Not even talking about his
what's
crunching.
this guy doing? What's this guy doing?
He's hopefully parking forwards.
Alright, I was ready to fucking blare the horn then. Yeah, we'll catch up with you later. Hello! It is Sunday evening. I'm sat outside the cinema. The boys have just gone in to see The Mandalorian. I am here to see Passenger because I'm fed up with Star Wars, to be honest. There's too much of it. Do I want to sit over 2 hours and watch something that's basically just a cute little creature and a character that I really don't really care about? No. I love the original Star Wars set of films. Some of the Disney ones I enjoyed. But I've just had it with all these series that they keep putting on. I know we watched season 1 of The Mandalorian, I think we did, and I think then they gave up on season 2, so I don't think they loved it. I'm expecting they're not going to really like the film that much, because I've heard it's like a long episode of the series, so we shall see. I'm going to see Passenger, which I have heard from every person bar one that has been to see it is shit. So that doesn't bode well. The thing that had put me off going to see it more than anything was someone had compared it. It's not like these films, but the quality of it is similar to Taro and Imaginary, which are both absolutely shockingly terrible. Really, you know, like those horror movies that are just like so bad, not so bad it's good, but so bad it's like, what a complete and utter waste of my time to have sat for an hour and a half and watched that. This one's an hour and 40, so we shall see what happens. I'm going to have a read of my Sean Hudson book. It's short stories, which is good. Incisions Cut 1. I've got Incisions Cut 2 as well. So I have got this one, Incisions Cut 2, and then another one. What's it even called? I've forgotten. And I got a special box pack with it, with like a poster, just loads of stuff in it, and I haven't read them yet. I just haven't had flipping time. I will get to it. I need to read more. It's got ridiculous. I'm not reading enough. The cinema's absolutely empty. I'm looking in it, and there's 2 members of staff stood behind the counter with their arms folded, looking out the exit, because no fucker's coming to the cinema. So that's interesting. I have got 35 minutes until my film starts, so I'll not be going in for at least 25. So yeah, I shall let you know how the film, well, I'll be doing a review probably, but I'll let you know how it was.